Sorry, I saw that when I would highlight things, you guys would get tripped up.
Oh, yeah, I just had to press the pause button again rather than the record button again. That's stupid as hell.
You mean the pause, then unpause.
Yeah, I didn't have to hit the play button. I had to hit the pause button again. I thought I hit the record button, but no. Anyways, welcome to the After the Pod for Mother Teresa. I'm learning more about editing as the days go by. Damn it.
I mean, that's life. You're always learning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're learning or we're dying.
Rude.
And so we're definitely learning
Yeah.
about Mother Teresa and editing.
Nice transition.
Thank you.
Smooth. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that I have for her early life is just the correct pronunciations of her name.
Played you.
And I remember sending Trevor a picture of the profession of vows.
Oh my god.
where there's just a nun face down in front of the congregation.
T-posing.
Pretty much T-posing, arms out like you're doing the cross.
Oh.
But
and I'm like, that's crazy. I didn't realize that was a thing.
What was they professing there?
Humility, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, but I just remember we posted up online with no context, and there's so many confused.
I think it would have to be part of the vow of obedience, because I don't think poverty or chastity fits in that in any way, shape, or form.
No. Feels... No, I'm going to hold it. That's pretty sacrilegious so early in the episode.
I was going to say, it
we
just
can get
feels a bit
sacrilegious
weird.
later, but we'll talk about it. Also, I should search up what the hell canonization is, and I should probably stop.
That one part at least feels a bit weird.
What the
T-posing? Yeah. It's one of those where I'm like, okay, yeah, I see it. And then I see that picture, I'm like, there's not like a clear point where I'm like, that makes sense.
I was just like reading a book about Nexium, which is a cult, and they had to do something similar to that. I mean, they were branded instead of just T-posing, but
a little difference. But T-pose or get branded.
I don't know. Just
throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out there.
Listen, what I always said is, because I had to, when I was student teaching, I had to teach them about Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, man, it's so weird. I'm like, do you look at some of the stuff about other religions? Everybody's a little weird. Like,
everybody's a little weird.
That's why I'm like, it's both really strange, but also, if you would take a step back, everybody's a little weird. So it's hard for me to be like, oh wow, this is such a strange thing. You have to T-pose in front of the whole congregation. Girl, we're all a little weird.
Yeah, faith is faith, you know? You're trying to figure out why the universe is the way it is, you know?
Some religions, you have to cut the head off a chicken and let it bleed out or something like that, and others are, whenever you're going to sacrifice an animal to eat it, you can't let it see the knife that's going to kill it.
Is that halal?
Yeah. So, T-posing in front of the congregation, face down on the floor, weird, but it's not that weird, all things considered.
That's why I say, like,
just a different kind of weird.
For the Catholic faith, yeah.
If it was just in a different time period, then we'd be like, oh wow, it's such a weird thing, but like, dog, everything's a bit weird. It's just, we're so used to these type of things that as soon as you go to any other religion, you're like, wow, that's so weird.
That's true.
No, we're all weird.
Yeah, it's like you just don't know their culture. I don't know the culture of the nuns very well, but I had to learn a lot of it to do this episode. So.
Dab.
Yeah.
First, I want to say, naming something all Home for the Dying nearly took me out.
Yeah, taking the name Home for the Dying.
There's gotta be a better name.
Well, to be fair, God, the St. Jude's Children's Hospital, St. Jude was like the saint of lost causes.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I think it's supposed to be more of like miracle type thing than like, but yeah.
Why do you have a saint of lost causes?
Well, when lost cause, but then somehow it comes back type thing. That's what I think is what they're going for.
Patron saint of lost causes, desperate situations, and impossible or difficult causes.
Okay, so Home for the Dying, not that bad.
Not that bad.
But it's also just very weird compared to, Hope for the Dying versus Gift of Love. And it's just like, these two were both made.
Yeah.
And they feel entirely separate.
And I'm pretty sure St. Valentine's like the patron saint of the bees. So...
I guess the birds and the bees?
No, the bees.
Wait, was he the one that like got the snakes out, or is that a different person?
No, that's St. Patrick.
Patrick, right? Patrick with snakes.
And then again, the saint. That's a different story.
Okay, well, that's another episode.
There's different connotations to that one.
I would say, as someone who is not religious whatsoever, it's always very interesting learning about it. But I guess like Home for the Dying is kind of like hospice.
Yeah,
which
it's just put a nicer word. Hospice sounds a little bit nicer than Home
You
for the
dying.
Yeah,
Hey,
and-
we're going to move you to this nice little place called the Home for the Dying.
And,
Don't worry, you'll survive.
And regarding that, people give her a lot of flack for not having like clean facilities.
Yeah.
But they were homes for the dying. They were essentially slums that got converted into hospices rather than hospitals that were very sterilized. Not a lot of money went into them,
Mm-hmm.
which is surprising considering 78 million got donated a year to Mother Teresa's network.
Ruh-roh.
But with the amount of locations that she had all across the globe,
Mm-hmm.
including in countries like the Soviet Union and Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
after some thought and careful discussion with my mom and knowledge of the government, there's a strong possibility that some of the money that disappeared ended up greasing palms in order to keep some of these places open, because I don't think the same institution that exists in America, in New York City, would also exist in communist Soviet Union and Cuba without a little palm greasing.
My God, did you say communism?
Quack.
Quack. Anyway.
So I don't know if that like accounts for the 78 million, but I know that a lot of money is probably going to have to go to grease palms in different countries because the government's corrupt. Doesn't matter where you go.
Very true.
And I was going to say, when they were also mentioned somewhere, they were like, there's no nurses. I'm like, yeah, all these people are volunteer. They don't make money. They're like, it's one of those, both, I get that you're like, there should be a nurse here, but also, these are people that were literally kicked out of hospitals, like, and they're working with not a ton. I get, should they have, it would have been best if they did, but I understand why they didn't have any, like, proper nurses for the stuff.
Yeah, this is an entirely volunteer setup and not a lot of nurses and doctors who spend a lot of money and time going to college for this kind of stuff would want to volunteer, because volunteering doesn't exactly pay off student loans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, student loans that were super expensive back then.
Dog, I don't know.
Actually, I don't know that much, but, like, I know they were more reasonable back then.
It's interesting about Cuba because Cuba is like the largest exporter of doctors worldwide. Fun fact about Cuba. They actually have like a bunch of like medical advances, like a lung cancer treatment. So I think it's interesting that like there was a place for this in Cuba where it felt like they had the doctor, but maybe you're right, maybe not the money for it. Like people can't always afford a hospital. It does suck because like a hospice slum isn't the best place to die in, but I guess you're at least getting care from somebody and they're trying their best, which is more than you can do if you're like on the street.
Yeah.
So like I see both sides.
Yeah. And regarding to people being a part of the Missionaries for Charity, it was like 4,000 volunteers a year. I don't know how many people they have on the roster as well. Back on the money missing thing, one quote that I saw while I was doing my research from one of the sisters was like, God is my banker. So clearly she doesn't care. Mother Teresa was too busy trying to run all of these different locations to really care. So I'm assuming that the money went straight to the Catholic Church. And
that is what I think would worry me the most, because they got so much money. I'm sure some was palm greasing, but I do think at the end of the day, like the church itself is a little corrupt in that they like the money too. I just wish they would have given some back to the people.
Yes.
Like it was meant for them. And then it went other places.
Yeah, you have all these institutions and slums all across the world. Why are you not giving back to the slums as much as you can, but instead sending it to the Vatican?
Right. That needs more gold on their ceilings.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's sacrilegious of me to say, I guess.
Not really. It's completely judgmental.
I was going to say,
in an acceptable way.
That's more of, that's separating the religion from the institution.
Yes.
The institution has its issues. The religion is mostly, there's nothing real big issue with the religion, but the institution that goes along with it has its issues.
Because I'm assuming, these people went into the nunnery pretty young. They probably don't have any idea about like financial literacy or like how to distribute wealth and money and all the stuff that you're coming. So you are going to rely on somebody who does know that. Yeah. So they're essentially like working at a disadvantage because they didn't go to school for that.
And Mother Teresa grew up like poor. Her father passed away, so they were in like dire financial straits, and she got helped out by the church. So she's like, okay, cool, I don't need a lot, and the nuns believe in not needing a lot, so I'm going to go out and teach people to not need a lot, which is another criticism that was about her, of her like going out and saying poverty is a good thing. But then again, she was raised in poverty her entire life, so that's all she knew.
Yeah. Do you not, though, want something better for... Like, you grew up and struggled. Do you not want something better for other people?
Well,
is my only criticism.
She found God.
That's
and
true.
God was her saving grace. So I can't give her too much flack for that, but just her saying to somebody who's dying, you're blessed for living in poverty.
That's... Yeah.
I don't think she said word for word, like bar for bar, you're blessed for living in poverty, but essentially something along those lines is like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Is this about canonization or about the secret conversions?
That's what I wanted to touch on. Secret conversions.
Yeah, let's talk about all the negative stuff, and then we can finish the episode off by talking about whether or not we believe she should have been canonized.
Secret conversions is hard for me because, I mean, I also think, just want to touch on this really quickly, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that you need to sterilize a needle, and you can't reuse it and wash it in the same place where there is poop. It's the whatever this is. This is the 1900s. Late 1900s, right?
We've had... As of this point, it's probably...
What, 70s, 80s?
Let's see, by the time she opened the one in America, it was 1970s.
Right, so we know at this point that you, at bare minimum, need to sanitize a needle before you pierce it into your skin, into your blood. So it is wild to me, and I do think this is a correct criticism of her, that no volunteer at all saw that they were washing needles in poop and stuff.
No,
and
it
was clothes that had poop.
Different one.
No, it said here that it was both.
No, it was the dishes were being washed in the same place as the rags. The needles
were
washed somewhere
just
separately.
Purified water, nothing fancy.
Yeah,
it was the clean or the food stuff was with the poo stuff. The needles were just water.
Yes,
both are not great. I'm going to say
that is fair.
Typhoid Mary.
I completely agree with you.
Typhoid. Okay, it's slightly better, but it's not great either to wash food where you washed soiled linens.
Absolutely.
100%.
Because it's either you're contaminating your food with shit or you're contaminating your shit with shit.
Right. Yes. And
yes.
And I said, one of these volunteers, especially
or blood from other people, because they're just dirty stuff.
They're at an AIDS hospital.
That's the one in New York.
That's true. I mean, it's different.
We're talking about all the other ones in general as well.
But did they not communicate with each other? Hey, we learned that AIDS is from blood to blood. Maybe we should not reuse needles.
Well, then again, the New York one might have been better, because a lot of the quotes that I got from the dirty needles ones were the ones that were in India.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. What I know of Mother Teresa is the negative things about India. I don't know about Venezuela, but I know that there's a lot of criticism what she did in India.
There's a lot of criticism that's rightly given to the institution that she ran, because it wasn't necessarily the best. Did she do the best with what she could? Maybe. That's honestly all I can really give her for a solid maybe on did she do her best, because with the dishes, the needles, the rags being cleaned, everything, it's suspect, but at the same time, how much can you really do to some extent? But that doesn't excuse the general knowledge of you don't shit where you eat. Yeah.
I just hope that and I don't know, but I hope that in this unsanitary place, disease didn't flourish because of it. Because it was supposed to be this safe haven for people. I hope it didn't inadvertently become worse for people.
From what I've read, a lot of it is either people ended up dying there, either from their injuries, diseases, etc., or anything they might have picked up while they were there. Not entirely sure. Or they were able to walk out with a new lease on life. I don't know what the rate was for people who walked out versus people who died there.
Right.
But I know they did also have people suffering from leprosy there. So they had a lot of people from, I was going to say different walks of life, but they're all people in the slums who've been abandoned by the hospitals, by their families, etc., who normally wouldn't get a second chance at life, being given a second chance, even if they don't end up making it out.
I think maybe my anger really should go toward wherever this missing money was.
Absolutely.
Because it feels like Catholicism, Christianity, I used to be Christian, they do teach helping others, helping the less fortunate. And so to know that these places were trying to do their best, had the finances somewhere to do it, and we're not given those finances, I think is what makes me upset.
Yes. I
think maybe, and I'm going to give her some credit here, I think if she was given the opportunity to have more sanitary conditions, more money, more things for the people that needed them, she probably would have taken them. I don't know, because, she was like, poverty is
Poverty's cool.
But I hope so. The secret conversions, I'm going back to the secret conversions does get me, though. It does feel like so fucked up.
Mm.
Like, I don't even know another way to say it. It's basically saying, I don't respect your religion. I know it's like comes in a really roundabout and fucked up way. Like, I care about you. I want you to make it into heaven. I don't think your religion will allow that, so I'm going to try to do this for you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's like a lack of respect for other people. Exactly, that religion and those people and that faith, which just feels like fucked up the way they did it,
Yeah. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, these other things with, like, the money and the conditions, that might just be because of happenstance or because of how things played out. That one, there's no real excuse for it. There's no possibility that, like, oh, it's just a miscommunication. Like, all the other issues, the money, the sanitation, you can understand maybe something happened that caused this. The secret versions, there's nothing to explain away.
I do have something, though.
Oh, jeez.
Oh?
A definite maybe.
Oh.
So a quote from earlier on that Megan read, when Mother Teresa was talking to a Catholic priest about converting,
mm-hmm.
she responded, "Yes, I convert. I convert you to be a better Hindu, better Muslim, better Protestant, Catholic, Parsi, Sikh, and Buddhist. And after you found God, it is for you to do what God wants you to do." So a lot of the Christians gave her flack for not converting people. And then going down to the quote of the secret conversions,
mm-hmm.
it was, secrecy was important so that it would not come to be known that Mother Teresa's sisters were baptizing Hindus and Muslims. I'm wondering if it was so secret that Mother Teresa herself didn't know. That's the closest I can get to really giving her an out. But even then, it's
still not good.
It's just speculation on whether she knew or whether or not she didn't. So that's the closest to giving her an out that I have.
The phrase "a ticket to heaven" does remind me of Dark Ages Europe, where priests would go out and say, "You can pay your way into heaven."
Oh yes, you can buy salvation.
You can,
tithes.
yeah,
not tithes.
No,
no,
those are donations.
It was it was literally like a ticket.
It wasn't like reparations. That's the wrong word.
Google it. I think it was the Dark Ages. It's back when like religion was the only thing people had, so I think it was
Dark Ages, Renaissance.
It wasn't. I don't think it was Renaissance. I think it was pre-Renaissance.
I don't know when it was.
I guess it depends on where the Renaissance had touched you.
Indulgence. That tracks.
That's the one.
Yeah. So that's what it kind of reminded me of, which is, I guess, another reason why I felt some type of way about it. I mean, like I said, we don't know what her involvement itself was. It was wrong.
Yeah. A lot of the allegations and speculations are against her institution.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of speculation of, oh, she didn't know, or she did know. She's a terrible person. She's a great person. I remember during my readings, there was one dude who was a hater of Mother Teresa. Secular liberal guy who's like, I hate everything about Mother Teresa. She's hell's angel.
Oh my God.
I hate her because of her conservative views on all kinds of stuff. And it's like, well, she's like 80 and she was raised in 1910, 1920 in poverty, where the man did everything in the household without a man in her household. So there's that. So that's where the conservative views come from, and he was bashing her for that. So it's like, okay, you're just looking for stuff to look for stuff. And then there was the allegations about where the money went, and I'm like, okay, cool, you have a point on this one. Yeah. I will gladly concede that you have a point on this. But like, he did this entire article for Vanity Fair. I'm like, oh, so you're not like a journalist, you're an opinion journalist. Okay, so you're here to sway opinions on topics for the sake of doing it. I would have respected you more if you were somebody else who was going deep diving into it. During my research, there was a doctor in India who was going around interviewing people in the region to see what their beliefs are on Mother Teresa after she got canonized in 2016. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what he found out was that not everybody really believed in the mysticism of the canonization and that she performed miracles and blah, 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 blah. But they did think she was a good person. However, there was also some people who didn't want to talk about it. There was some people who were like kind of defensive about it, like they didn't want to give an answer to sound bad in case there was any backlash against them specifically. because of all that Mother Teresa had done in the neighborhood and the great image that she had. A lot of people were just excited that there was this woman who had all of these awards who was like from their region. So they're like, I have nothing bad to say about her. She won a Nobel Prize. So that one was a lot more credible in my opinion, because he actually went out, did research, asked people, and did it for the sake of finding out what the truth was, rather than trying to do an opinion piece.
Yeah. So do you think she should have been canonized?
So looking at the requirements for canonization, and I've been talking a lot this after the pod.
Well, it's your episode.
First, you need to be deceased for 5 years.
I mean, check mark.
Check mark.
Yeah.
Proof of a life of heroic virtue.
I do think she tried. Yeah.
I'll definitely give her that, because she tried.
She tried. Yeah.
A reputation for holiness.
Yes.
Yes, definitely was.
Funny part about that, in her journal, in her diary, she wrote how in the last 40 years of her life, she felt distant from God, but she still did all of these works. Like, she felt a disconnect, like a void where her connection with God was to where it is, I guess. There was just nothing there, like a bridge over a chasm, but there's no bridge. But she still did all these things without a connection to God. So I'm like,
that's pretty cool. You do
I can respect that.
The right thing just for the right thing's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last thing is 2 verified miracles.
What miracle?
So after her death, some people say that they prayed to her and they were miraculously healed of these things. Again, speculation. A lot of scientists have said you're dumb and you're wrong.
I was going to say, it's verifiable miracles.
Yeah, one woman straight up said, "Oh yeah, I had cancer. I prayed to Mother Teresa, and then the next day, I spit up a growth that was my tumor." That wasn't the case. Some believe it was just a cyst that had gotten knocked loose that she ended up spitting up. It wasn't cancer, I'll tell you that much for free. But regarding the things that we were talking about before of different beliefs and different whatever, I believe this is more of the mythology of Catholicism, the PR, essentially, of, oh yeah, this person performs miracles even after death. This is just the spiritual PR of Catholicism, of we have these saints who perform miracles. No matter whether or not you believe it, it's like, okay, cool, here's a good PR move of Saint Mother Teresa who heals.
I also guess miracle is kind of what you make of it, because I think it is miraculous that she was able to set up so many places in a world that's so not usually caring about those kind of people.
Usually so distant and
a
lot of animosity.
I mean, some of the people did get a second chance.
Yeah.
Which, they expected that they were just going to die, and then somehow, because of the care or whatever, they're able to get back on their feet. It's not a miracle, but it's enough that I could go, I can kind of see it.
It's more of a miracle than a woman saying she spit up cancer after praying to a picture of Mother Teresa.
I was going to say, Mother Teresa didn't perform that miracle, honey. She was dead.
And that was a growth in your stomach rather than whatever.
So, listen, if we're ignoring the needs to perform actual verifiable miracles,
I'm saying the verified miracles are absolutely...
Yes.
She saved people during life and gave them a second chance.
Those
are the miracles I'm saying, not the speculation bullcrap.
And I do think there should be a lot more saints, though. I guess that you're not going to do it for any person who's just nice. You have to do something extraordinary like her.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna give her a thumbs up.
I was going to say it's tough to be whenever you're I've decided that they are good. It feels like then you're just kind of ignoring it. She overall was good, but I hate saying overall, because then you just go, if she's good, then let's just ignore all the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah, she's definitely human. She made her mistakes, but in regards to whether or not I believe she should be canonized, I'll say yeah.
I can see it.
She's not the worst person they've canonized.
That's fair.
What a high bar.
That's totally fair, and we're going to have to do an episode on who you think shouldn't be canonized. And I'm excited for that one. Anyways, thank you all for joining us for the After the Pod. It's been a lot longer than the regular episode.
It always happens that way, because we get to talk about it,
just riff.
I feel like we're just spark notes for history, and then we give you our long opinion.
Yeah, but I think it's cool because I think these really make history feel relevant and present in our lives, when history can a lot of times feel it happened so long ago. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's why we get excited to talk about it. It's still relevant.
History was in the past. It's history.
her story. Check yourself.
Yeah.
My bad.
We live
Mother Teresa, help me. Anyways, all of the links are going to be in the last episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Anything else?
Make sure to come back next week for MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And check out Megan's TikToks.
Oh yeah, you can check out my TikToks. I do them. They're much sadder than this, but I do them.
But they're informative and they're fun.
Thank you.
If you like sad things.
If you like sad things, they're under 5 minutes of sad.
Hey.
Hey.
Until next time, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mother Teresa, help me.